Hello, everyone. My name is Jorge Diaz, president and founder of Larry Jacob Internet Marketing, and I'm bringing you another episode of Transforming Small Business Thinking. So in the past couple weeks, it's interesting. I've had a lot of people show interest in a couple of our recordings on ActiveCampaign. As everybody knows, I'm an Infusionsoft Certified Partner. We're a Memberium Certified Implementation Partner. So we build membership sites for Infusionsoft users. But we also have some ActiveCampaign knowledge. And it was interesting how that kind of brought up some conversations. So I want to welcome Kelly O'Connell as my guest this week.
Hi, how are you?
So I called over to my contacts over at ActiveCampaign and I go, look, I want to have a very fair and balanced discussion on Infusionsoft versus ActiveCampaign. I don't intend for this to be a finger pointing and, like not a lot of animosity. I want to be able to call Kelly, and if I'm up in Chicago, we can still share coffee and whatever. But she's knowledgeable. I'll let her introduce herself in a second, and thank you very much for joining us.
Of course, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Now, well, why don't you start? Because then what I want to do is there's ActiveCampaign, and now Infusionsoft has two products that I'm going to describe. And so, which makes the decision-making process of picking a CRM a little bit more difficult if you're looking at those two products. So go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll kind of get going with this.
Of course, yeah. So I am Kelly O'Connell. I'm Principal Product Manager here at ActiveCampaign. So I've been here almost 4 years. Seen significant growth. I started actually launched the customer success department here at ActiveCampaign. So I worked with hundreds and thousands of customers, really understood how they're using the product, pain points, what works really well, what they're trying to do with their business. I moved into a sales engineer role for a bit, and so really started understanding not even just current users, but anyone that's shopping for marketing automation in a CRM, really what they're trying to do, their existing stack of products maybe, and how they're trying to integrate, and then joined the product team in September. So now I focus you
started, when you say customer success, so you were on the front lines talking to customers as they're coming on board, doing the initial onboarding stuff. So which is
exactly
what a great way to learn.
Yeah. So I, worked from beginning of account all the way through the lifetime. So not just that onboarding, but also, okay, now that we have everything set up, how do we make it better? How do we optimize? How do we pull new projects in? And so really the entire lifetime that they're on the platform, I and my team were working with them, which is just a great way to not just learn the product, but really just how businesses want to operate and sort of work with the tool sets that they've chosen.
Sure. So then you went into system engineering. So now you're working with customers and actually like a higher, more technical role. And now you're the product person.
The principal product manager. Yeah. So now I get to decide sort of what we want to go tackle as far as roadmap and how we want to solve the pain points that I learned a great deal about in the previous years.
Great. And I definitely wanted her to, share with us her credentials, because we definitely have someone that can speak knowledgeably about ActiveCampaign, which I could not. Okay. So let me just start. So on the Infusionsoft side, Infusionsoft earlier this year renamed the business Keap, K-E-A-P. And with that, they introduced the new version of Infusionsoft called Keap. So the product and the company are called Keap. The new product Keap is intended to be an entry-level version of Infusionsoft, which is now called Infusionsoft by Keap.
Okay.
For those of you that know Infusionsoft, this is a funnel building tool. There's a whole lot to it, and we're going to talk about that. But it's not intended for someone to say, hey, I think I'm going to pick up a CRM and build a bunch of funnels with absolutely no training. It really is not intended to be that. Where their Keap product is intended to be, more entry level, kind of, maybe if you're in the Constant Contact and MailChimp sort of space, it's kind of like, hey, this might be a competitor or a step up in that space, just to kind of position those two. So if I'm describing, and again, I'm intentionally doing this very high level, Keap and Infusionsoft by Keap like that, how would you describe ActiveCampaign's approach?
Yeah, so our product approach has always been accessible to small and medium-sized businesses that are maybe not using anything. Maybe they're using Excel, maybe they're using an ESP like MailChimp or Constant Contact.
So ESPs is initials for what?
Email service provider.
Okay, no, because I hadn't heard that term specifically. Okay, I gotcha.
So users that are using that maybe have hit a limiter and they want to do more, they want to segment more, they want to get a little bit more targeted. We sort of sit a level above in terms of robustness and segmentation capabilities. But as you grow with the platform, you don't need to graduate to sort of a more robust one or a more enterprise solution. You can just start leveraging and go deeper and deeper and deeper. So I think we sit in the middle of Keap and Infusionsoft, but I think we can be as accessible as maybe a Keap is while being even more robust than an Infusionsoft is. And so it's not like you have to pick one or the other. Right. It's really just sort of achieving both with the same platform.
Right. So if let's say I wasn't the Infusionsoft guy, from what I'm hearing, Keap, the one product, and ActiveCampaign target the same audience. I don't have a CRM today. I haven't started to do marketing automation, and now I want to move ahead with that. And what you're saying is that ActiveCampaign can help you there, but it can also grow with you, so you don't have to switch platforms.
Yep, we certainly have customers like that. We also have plenty of people that are actually using heavier platforms like a Pardot or a HubSpot, or even things where they're not experienced in marketing and CRM, but maybe they're finding that a little bloated, or they even hit limits there. And so we really do pull from people who aren't using anything and sort of are looking for a solution, as well as people who know exactly what they're trying to do, and they're very experienced in their marketing and sales efforts. But our platform just provides that robustness that they're looking for.
It's interesting you mentioned HubSpot, because I run into HubSpot users that tend to be very happy with it. Yet they're really missing out, because both Infusionsoft and ActiveCampaign provide features that I know HubSpot doesn't provide. And HubSpot, in general, is a higher price solution, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so let's not go there. That's topic for another one of these programs. So let's get into more of the features. So
sure.
Where does for example, and not to knock ActiveCampaign, but ActiveCampaign doesn't have and maybe I'm wrong, an e-commerce version like Infusionsoft does.
We don't have a version of the product, but we certainly integrate deeply with e-commerce platforms. So we ourselves do not want to be an all-in-one. We will never be able to build as robust and as great a product as a Shopify or a WooCommerce or a BigCommerce. And so instead of trying to pull that into our product and make some more bells and whistles, we just want to integrate really, really deeply with them and make sure that our users can automate around, can segment, can personalize around that information. So allowing our users to pick best of breed solutions, but not losing that sort of throughput of data that we know is really important in a sales or marketing process.
No, right. And when you say throughput, it's kind of like if I buy something, I want to make sure my marketing automation tool knows that, so that it can take action, send an email, or exactly. Segment the data. So that's key in the integration, not just, I can take a payment and I'm done.
No, it's take a payment, but also what is in there, what products can I surface that information, abandoned cart, using it in fields as you bought this, now I want to send a recommendation for a different product. So that's all capable. We just don't have our own shopping cart, nor will that be a focus for our product.
Right. And then, so if compared to Infusionsoft has an e-commerce function. It's got the ability to do order forms, which is I'm going to buy one thing, and it has a shopping cart. It is not intended to be a full-blown e-commerce platform. It's good enough, is what I like to say. But a lot of people, once you get into more sophisticated, e-commerce needs, like, if you want to buy something and then do a sales bump, or if you want to, just get better at it, it does enable you to integrate, like you said, with a WooCommerce, with a Shopify, BigCommerce, those old tools, so that if you want a real serious e-commerce solution, you can integrate it with Infusionsoft. But Infusionsoft does have its own, I'd like to say, junior version of that, which ActiveCampaign has decided we just don't go there.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Okay. And then, by the way, one of my buddies is a real fan of ThriveCart and loves the integration with ThriveCart and ActiveCampaign. And by the way, if you buy it soon enough, ThriveCart is like $600 or so lifetime access until they bump up their price point. So, just a plug for that. So that's kind of the approach there. So anyway, okay, so we've got this e-commerce thing. They provide equivalent functions if you go outside of the product. ActiveCampaign natively doesn't do that. Infusionsoft does. And by the way, Keap also has, some elementary payment taking features, and it's intended to help people, pay the bill, get a bill payment from somebody.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
So I know there's a bunch. Go ahead and start telling us a little bit more about ActiveCampaign. What are the features? What are the things that people getting into the CRM business would really want to use ActiveCampaign to do?
Yeah, so really the biggest differentiator and the most power that anyone finds is within automations. And so many times...
You broke up. What was the word between what?
The power that they find is in automations.
Okay, no, the automation, there was something in the sound that broke that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So, a lot of platforms, stop at drip sequences, and maybe they can only do a few things. Or if you can do a lot, it's very complex. You're maybe having other people build it. You're not really sure what you're looking at or what you're able to do.
Go ahead.
Okay. And so, our automation builder is a very simple top-down drag and drop sort of workflow builder that's really easy to pull in different actions and understand the dependencies between the two. Not just sort of the ease of building a workflow, but also all the ways in which you can start branching it. So everything that we know about someone, any fields that we have on them, any integrations that we're pulling in. So I know their purchases, I know their purchase history, as well as actions. So how are they engaging with my site? How are they engaging with my marketing activities? How are they engaging even with my sales reps? And you can start building out these different workflows to really provide targeted, relevant messaging, maybe not just messaging through marketing, but making sure it gets into the right salesperson's hands, or that the salesperson is even alerted that they should do something. And so I think it's that mixture of marketing as well as operational things that you can automate that people get really excited about, and they can understand all of the flow of their business within an automation builder that can be sort of difficult to look at in other platforms. And then, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Within the CRM specifically, we do have a CRM with pipelines and stages, but you can automate a lot around that as well. So as new leads come in, I want to make sure that they go into a specific pipeline. I want to have tasks set up. I know I need to send these emails. Once those tasks are complete, I may want to alert the sales rep, so you can do a lot of behind the scenes things within automations that just help the team or yourself really know what should I be attacking each day or what should I be paying attention to.
Now, let me ask you, does ActiveCampaign include like an appointment scheduling tool, or is that like something that's...
No, that would be something that we'd integrate with. So we don't have appointment scheduling ourselves, but we certainly pull those in and can surface those, personalized segment on those, tag people, pull them into.
So if I've got schedule once, Calendly, Acuity, there's integration with it, which by the way is the same with Infusionsoft. Infusionsoft's got one that's very specifically integrated with them, but with Zapier connections, you can do that as well. Keap does have an appointment setting feature. It was one of the things that they thought, as they release something new. Keap really tries to handle three things. How do I schedule follow-up work? I talk to someone, how do I keep from forgetting about them? So that you stay with them. If someone calls you and you're not able to get right back to them, you can almost like tag them and then start off a sequence. I know in ActiveCampaign and in Infusionsoft, you can do that. The Keap interface for doing that is much simpler than the Infusionsoft by Keap interface for doing that. They do have a way to take payments because they wanted to make it easy to, I'm a business owner. Do you really want to wait for the check in the mail? That kind of stuff. How do I easily take a payment with a credit card and have it come in right away? And so included in one of the Keap and Infusionsoft's features is the ability to, like, pretty quickly, within 2 minutes, you can set up your merchant account. You don't have to fill up a lot of huge forms. Literally you're taking payments immediately, and assuming you don't have issues with chargebacks and stuff, there's really no reason why that wouldn't service you well. And the fees are very reasonable. And the third feature that they've included in there is a scheduler, so that you can coordinate your calendar with, typically like Gmail or something, or Gmail calendar. So I can come up, send you a link, and instead of having that, 8 to 10 different back and forth emails going, no, I'm not available Tuesday at 5, but I am available. Oh, and you're on Pacific time. Oh, hold on a second. That whole thing. Those are really the three big drivers behind Keap as the new introductory product. And it's
and those would certainly be things that we're focused on providing that value to our users, just probably not within building that functionality ourselves. So we more than likely would want to deepen our integrations to provide that same capability. But often I find users very frustrated with platforms that have this all-in-one mentality because they're just not rich enough in functionality the minute they want something different. And so since we focus a little bit more on a stacked approach, we have many users that try Calendly and switch to Appointlet and then go to schedule once and really want to make sure that they get the feature set they need. And we would be able to have the same functionality regardless of platform that you're looking to use.
No, right. And that ends up, that's the one thing I didn't know. So you guys don't want to be the all-in-one. And I haven't overtly heard that Infusionsoft does want to be the all-in-one, but they do provide a more all-in-one approach to their solution. Now, ease of use is going to be a little bit subjective. I have heard in general, like I interviewed Ron Wilder. He's the guy that I referred to earlier. He was an Infusionsoft consultant, and he was going to build his platform and his membership site using Infusionsoft. And after doing the research, he actually forklifted Infusionsoft out and put ActiveCampaign in, which is one of the reasons I wanted to talk to him, because you rarely find someone who clearly knows Infusionsoft well and then made the decision to switch. And he confirmed to me, he says, George, it's for what the features I needed, it was easier to implement.
Yeah, so you can go look at our G2 reviews. We rank very highly on ease of use, certainly against competitors.
Sorry, G2 like in the European government G2?
No, G2 Crowd. It's a review site of platforms, of software platforms.
Oh, wow. So I'm learning all these acronyms too.
But yeah, I have worked with many, many people who have used platforms like Infusionsoft for a significant amount of time. And they more than likely, at least everyone that I worked with, had someone else build it out for them, or worked with a partner, or worked with a consultant, and just don't find it really easy to understand what's going on with their business. And so far too often, maybe something wasn't happening that they expected, some good outcome, and they go in and they try and figure out where the breakdown is and where sort of that funnel is of information. They can't find it, they don't understand. And so I have heard that ActiveCampaign is significantly easy to use. Our onboarding, most users are up and sort of using the platform under 2 weeks. We have a big goal in customer success that at least happens in a month.
Let me ask you a few questions about that, because you guys provide services. which, for example, Infusionsoft says, hey, we're not in the service business. They do have like an onboarding, they call them kickstarts. And that's like a series of, I don't know how many meetings, but the idea is to get you started. Now that's built into ActiveCampaign. You jump into the $49, you guys have your price points, but I buy ActiveCampaign and I kind of like get one of you guys with that, right?
Yep. So you get an onboarding, and they just sort of revamped really the onboarding process on the success side, but there is someone that is not just training. It is not just a simple, here's how you use the platform. It is truly understanding what are your business objectives, what are your goals, where are you trying to get to, and making sure that the platform is built out in a way that's going to help you measure and achieve those. And so it's not just click here and do this. It's really trying to understand, because the platform is so flexible, it's really trying to understand what are you trying to do, because it could be built out in a lot of different ways. And so you do get access to the customer success team. And then we do provide some services in terms of migration. So we understand that it's not a small undertaking.
Okay, can you, migration is a loaded term. Can you kind of go that?
Sure, yeah. So when I talk about migration, I mostly mean the people and sort of workflows that you may have set up in other platforms. We want to make sure that that can be copied over in ActiveCampaign. Now, you can't, pull all the historical reports over. You can't pull all that over. Every platform is going to keep that data. But, the people, your audience, your copy, your templates, any workflows, we do build that out in the ActiveCampaign instance as sort of a mirror copy, so that you could just switch it on and everything would be running, so long as your website's connected and things like that.
I got you. So, gosh, that's interesting. So, I'll tell you, I usually, because my business, we don't sell a lot of Infusionsoft applications. That's not my business model, because we focus on the membership site business. That's our niche. That's where we're really good. We have a lot of web development talent that you don't necessarily need in order to be a good Infusionsoft partner, right? So I'm kind of like agnostic. I have a lot of history with Infusionsoft, but both platforms work well with Memberium and Access Ally, which are the two membership site platforms that I support. So if people come to me from ActiveCampaign or Infusionsoft and they say, hey, I want a membership site, I'm kind of like, okay, you're using that to run your business. We can definitely integrate with it. But kind of from what I'm hearing, jumping onboarding with ActiveCampaign is likely to be a little bit less painful for, the business owner that's just getting started. There's likely to be Infusionsoft by Keap features that ActiveCampaign doesn't include, but you're likely to want to be working with a consulting team to make the most of those. Am I being fair by saying that?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's going to more than likely be easier to get up and running, quicker to get up and running by yourself if you're doing it by yourself. But probably also you'll feel more empowered and actually understanding what things are doing. And so you feel a little bit more comfortable with 3 months down the road needing to go make a change. You know where to go and sort of what's running what and how it's all connected.
This has got me thinking about, I've got to learn this platform better just so that I can be a little bit more knowledgeable. Because a lot of time, in our business, we start with the membership site, but the next question is, hey, by the way, we need these campaigns updated. And then before you know it, that's not our bread and butter business, but we become their guy, for lack of a better term. So anything else you think you'd like to share about, things that we might have missed?
I think it's really just thinking about, we all know that the true success in a business is how relevant and personalized you can be to your customer base. We know that not everyone's different, or not everyone's the same. Everyone is different. And so many platforms can do sort of broad segments really well. And I can make groups of people that look and sound and act and do all these things alike, I can do things and to that broad group of people.
Yeah,
I think.
Let me add something to that, because you make a really good point. You call them ESPs, right? The email service providers.
Mm-hmm.
Email service providers are the ones that cannot typically do that. It's difficult to get MailChimp, Constant Contact, iContact, Aweber to do that personalization. So if you're just sending broadcasts and everybody kind of gets the same thing, or you have two lists and one person, one group gets this and another group gets that, you probably don't overtly need this CRM, either Keap or ActiveCampaign. But the minute you kind of graduate a step further, and I have people on this segment, as you're calling them, but it's this group of people, and they did something that now puts them over here. Now you've got what I like to call, in project management terms, swim lanes. And then, people are jumping from one lane to another. And that's where both Keap and ActiveCampaign are at their best, because they allow you to change how you deal and customize the experience based on that. And a lot of times, I know because I do it a lot, it's like, man, you are everywhere. And it's like, well, not really. I'm everywhere you are. And especially if you've really honed in, you've really dialed in your campaigns.
Yeah. And I'll say that is our biggest product focus, is continuing to provide the best and easiest ways for our users to go even more granular than just a segment. So not even those swim lanes, but everything that each individual contact should see and experience and communicate with your brand should be completely different than how anyone else does. And so that's how we're sort of building our product, is it's not just swim lanes. It's not just, I know these segments. It is truly making sure that we provide every way that we possibly can, that anyone in the system can be having a totally different experience based on what we know about them, what they're doing, how they're engaging. That doesn't require building out hundreds and thousands of branches and automations to make sure everyone's taken care of. So that's our biggest focus in the product, and sort of everything that our roadmap is aligned to.
Very cool. Well, hey, Kelly, we're running out of time. Thank you so much for sharing this. I know I've learned a few things. I'm hoping that, the listeners here will come up and say, okay, maybe this can help me decide which one makes the most sense for me. And FYI, a little bit of plug, we sell both. So, we're cool either way you go. We want to make sure that the match is the tightest and the best appropriate for what you're wanting. And throw a membership site in there while you're at it. Okay. Well, Kelly, thank you so much again. And I really appreciate, you spending time with me.
Yeah, thank you. It's been a blast.